Former Labor MP Craig Thomson is claiming vindication tonight after the release of a report highly critical of the investigation into him. The report by auditors KPMG has also cleared the government of interfering in the Fair Work Australia investigation. The opposition isn't conceding that Mr Thomson's been cleared of wrongdoing in his earlier life as Health Services Union boss, saying KPMG didn't take issue with the findings of the investigation. Political correspondent Tom Eagledon has the latest from Canberra.
The opposition and Craig Thomson agree on one thing. The KPMG report is not kind on Fair Work Australia's 3-year investigation into the former union boss.
Walk into a camera. Fair Work Australia have totally bungled this right from the start. This is what I have said right from the start.
This review, if anything, indicates to Craig Thomson that chances are he's fortunate to still be where he is because of the go slow and incompetence by Fair Work Australia.
The report paints a picture of an under-resourced investigation which struggled to find the manpower to do its work or properly use its investigative powers.
This report shows...
Craig Thomson's claiming vindication.
I've consistently said from the start that this whole investigation was flawed. It's a series of allegations, accusations on which conclusions have been based.
But the opposition's still taking those allegations seriously, despite the flaws in the investigation.
Whilst it was painfully slow, I don't think anybody has been able to actually lay a glove on the actual findings of Fair Work Australia. And so for Mr Thomson to claim that somehow this vindicates him is a complete nonsense.
Despite years of evidence gathering, KPMG found the investigation did not consider all potential sources of information, particularly electronic information. The opposition says had they done so, things could be different.
He's a very lucky boy. And the Prime Minister is a very lucky leader.
But crucially for the government, the report did not identify any indications of potential interference in the investigation, undermining a key claim from the opposition.
They've been totally wrong in relation to the government's position of interference. They've been totally wrong in terms of the facts of the issue. They are standing here today with egg all over their faces.
The Workplace Relations Minister says changes are needed at Fair Work Australia.
What can be done to make sure this doesn't happen again? What are the lessons from this unacceptably long report?
But he's not backing Craig Thomson's claim of vindication.
The matter of who did what will ultimately be tested in the courts.
As the heat begins to recede from one of Labor's bigger controversies, there's also been improvement today in its poll numbers. Newspoll has its primary vote up 2 points to 35%. It's still all but electoral oblivion, but Labor MPs could be forgiven for hoping that political momentum's begun to swing back in their favour. One even went on the offensive today about Mr Abbott's controversial removal from question time yesterday by the female Deputy Speaker.
The Leader of the Opposition will remove himself from the chamber under 94A.
The response she got shows very plainly that Mr Abbott's not used to taking orders from a woman, I think.
I take directions from women every day. My wife, my daughters, my Chief of Staff.
Oh, some of my best friends are women. I just think that's a funny thing to say.
Look, that is another one of the government's weapons of mass distraction.
All this 2 years to the day since the last election.
Thank you.
And a year at most until the next one. Tom Eagledon, Late Line.